Greetings, chain champions, greetings, citizens, greetings, intercessors. Welcome to Live with Chatufa. This is the gospel of the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. We are watching God on the move as we are walking towards the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. A lot of exciting news and exciting things happening in our country and around, because we are seeing the hand of God in all things that are happening around. ZANU-PF so much has tried to help its counterpart, South Africa, ANC, for them to survive when they are facing a very mammoth task. Something is coming. This election that is coming on the month of May, it's not going to be easy. Things are going to be very difficult for the ANC. We have seen the ANC trying to survive, by hook and crook, also copying and pasting the rotten politics, of ZANU-PF, trying to implement it. Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF trying to give hints of how they are playing dead in Zimbabwe, thinking that the ANC could also survive playing dead in their own country. But alas, very, very unfortunately, it's not happening, because South Africa is not Zimbabwe, and whatever that ZANU-PF is getting away with in Zimbabwe, they cannot get away with in South Africa. Because I've always been saying that the situation of Zimbabwe and South Africa are totally different, because what is happening on the ground, especially when it comes to institutions of government, it's very, very difficult for Ramaphosa and Fikile Mbalula to just turn around 1 minute and start to want to play dirty and think that they can corrupt everyone by a single day. It is not going to happen. We have seen how they've been challenging Jacob Zuma and the MK party. At first, they were fighting for the logo of the party. They lost their case. They fought again against Zuma's candidature because they were saying he has a criminal record, and they also failed in that very issue right in the courts of South Africa. And it is very good, and it shows signs of a living state when even the president himself can be defeated in a court of law. That shows that the country still has some kind of direction when it comes to the rule of law, unlike what we see in our own banana republic that Mugabe started and handing over to Mnangagwa, who has turned it into a worse off scenario. We are worse off now under Mnangagwa than we were even during the time of Robert Mugabe. So, family, we are seeing the Songezo TSHABANGU strategy that wanted to be used again in South Africa this time around, as they were trying to put the last nail in the coffin of Zuma, thinking that probably this would work at the last days, as the last days are approaching towards the election. It's not going to happen. It has failed again. The Electoral Commission has shut down that Songezo strategy against the MK party. A man called Joseph wrote a letter, and he was claiming that Jacob Zuma must be removed as a candidate for the MK party. It did not work. It failed, and it was turned down by the Electoral Commission. And a lot of citizens, Zimbabweans, have been discussing and talking about this issue. And people have been saying, had this been in our own country, the government of ZANU-PF would have pretended, to look aside as if they don't know anything, as if they are very innocent, and they would not even attend to this. They would just activate things as things happened during the time of the CCC and the Songezo TSHABANGU. So the strategy has failed, and we see ANC is left once again with an egg on the face. Very, very embarrassing. But what can you expect when a country is still running its systems as according to what should happen? Nobody can just come up with anything and succeed with it. So here we are seeing Jabulani Khumalo, the founder of the MK party, is written to former President Jacob Zuma and placed him on precautionary suspension. Khumalo is also written to the IEC, which is the Independent Electoral Commission, asking it to remove Zuma from the party's presidential list as party leader. So this is the letter, and also the response that came from the IEC, which was shutting down, shooting down, flashing down that letter down the toilet. And they say, we are not going to be interfering in party struggles and party squabbles. We know that this is the man that has been presented to us. And why are you bringing this issue today when we are only some few days towards election? Exactly, this is what happened with Xavier Kasukuwere, when we saw Kasukuwere being suspended on the very last verge of the election, towards the elections. And you know, a sign that the ballot paper was not yet printed. It showed that ZANU-PF was waiting to win that case, and then ballots will be printed. This is why the ballot papers ran short, even could not be available for other places when they were needed, because they had to be placed, or rather printed the very last minute. And remember, it was Wikne Uchivai who was given that tender to do that. So a discussion was held at Newsroom Africa, and we just want to acknowledge them. And this is what was said by the leader, or the leader of
You have
the
received a
MK
letter
party.
from
We
Mr.
just want
Jabulani
to hear
Khumalo.
what is.
You have received a letter from Mr. Jabulani Khumalo. That letter, he says, former President Jacob Zuma is a consultant in this party, but you, the IEC, are saying he is the man that is recognized by yourselves as the IEC. Why?
You know, for us, it's pretty simple. It may appear difficult and fuzzy to all of you. To us, the leader of the party when it was formed was Mr. Khumalo. Mr. Khumalo later informed us that he is going to hand over the leadership role to Mr. Zuma.
Did he do that in writing?
It was done in writing. The law requires that we do these things in writing, and they did that in writing. And so we recognize Mr. Zuma, not because we have made that decision as the IEC, but because the leader of the party indicated to us that that leadership baton has passed from him to Mr. Zuma.
Exactly, straightforward. The issue is simple, and there is no argument there. Written in black and white, everybody knows what is happening. There's the very same thing that was rejected by the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Mdenda, when the president, who is known in the CCC, Nelson Chamisa, wrote and said, Shabangu is an imposter. We know not of Shabangu. He does not hold any position whatsoever in the CCC. But ZANU-PF, having both letters, a letter from Shabangu and a letter from Nelson Chamisa, had to choose a letter that they wanted, that was going in line with them, that would favor them. You see, where a demonstration that we have a country that is a lawless country, a country that does not operate on constitution, and this is the result. Now look at countries that are still being governed well, where a man or men and women that are holding their office and they've been given a mandate and the power to run, they can stand their ground and tell you that no, you can't push us around over this. Whenever you hear Priscilla Chigumba refusing to be pushed, know that that issue has something to do with the benefits to ZANU-PF each time that she stands her ground. Otherwise, all the way she'll be just flowing and sailing with the ZANU-PF. At the end of the day, we find that there is always confusion, because some things that ZANU-PF will demand for ZEC to do, they will end up again backfiring. And then we find an election like what we saw on the 23rd of August, which the whole international community came and condemned. And up to this very day, it remains a condemned election. And though Mnangagwa wants to hold on it, he's still holding on to just air. It's just froth. And there is nothing. It's just clouds with no rain. He knows it. And this is why he continues to be an illegitimate leader in the country. So this is the situation. We are saying kudos to the IEC of South Africa to say, yes, these are the principles that must be upheld. And when principles are upheld in a nation, everything will go correct and straight. And nobody will come in a bogus manner and would want to come and twist up things, bring confusion, go and, break the laws and try to rip the constitution of the country or the laws and the principles that are written down. So how can you come today and you want to change something that you also wrote in a letter in black and white, and you submitted the letter just because today probably ANC has visited you at night and you were left with some briefcases of cash? Then you want to turn around and you think everyone else has to turn around. So that Jabulani, very sorry for him, very sorry for the ANC, tough luck for the ANC, because it is going to rain storms. I'm telling you, it is going to rain hailstorm in this coming election. I am telling you, they wanted really as much as possible to stop the MK party, and especially Jacob Zuma, because Zuma has really harvested quite a lot of the voters who were supposed to be voting for the ANC. So looking at that scenario, with the way that the EFF has gained momentum and also the DA still holding its territories, it is very, very sad for ANC, because they are going to be having a very, very tough time for them to reach the 50% threshold. It is very unlikely that the ANC of Ramaphosa this time around will get the 50% threshold, failure of which they will have to go in a coalition with yet another party, which is very highly likely to be the EFF. And the EFF is coming with demands. They will come with the demands to say, if we are going to be bringing our percentage for you to be above the water, then it means we have to go this way. We can't do this. We have to agree on this and that. So the stance of ANC of supporting ZANU-PF blindly is not going to be happening anymore. And many, many other issues that ANC have been doing on their own, and, you know, just twisting up things, acting corruptly and things like that, and all the like, they are not going to be able to do it once they are in coalition with another government. And also, when it comes to the governance itself, the government structure, there's going to be a lot of sharing, especially, you know, ministerial offices and the like. So, which means ANC will not be having 100% control of government in South Africa. That would mean that they are highly diluted and they are highly compromised. It means now when ZANU-PF wants to get all the favors, Mnangagwa, the favors that he's enjoying right now, he won't be able to be enjoying all those favors that he's receiving from South Africa. And the cushioning that ZANU-PF has enjoyed from ANC is not going to be happening anymore, because ANC has protected ZANU-PF for a very long time, protecting their crimes, protecting their looting, protecting their corruption, protecting their governance that does not have rule of law, and even allowing them to do businesses, even bogus businesses, through South Africa, and also to own property. ZANU-PF people have properties in South Africa, serious properties in South Africa, and they are also establishing businesses in South Africa, when these are guys that are actually under sanctions. So this is the scenario. So the survival of Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF is going to be right at the bottleneck, because the whole system that is being supported by South Africa is going to crumble once the ANC loses power, once the ANC is diluted and shares power with another party. So we are watching to see. It's only days. Days are tick and talking. Tick tock, tick tock. We are going towards that election. Let us continue to pray. It is the season of change, and God is going to make sure that whoever has been standing with ZANU-PF must bite the dust. And we are unapologetic about it. Whoever supports the suffering of the people of Zimbabwe must also go down, and no sympathy about it. We continue to demand for a free Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe must be freed from hooligans, thieves, murderers, and rapists. We are sick and tired, and the time is now. God is on the move, and God is definitely going to set our country free. Very, very soon, it is going to be happening. Family, we still have 2 more shows that are coming on the main channel, Chatufa Television Production. We are going to be talking about that. What exactly I'm seeing, my brother Eson Wilson here saying, hi, Chatufa, did you hear about the invitation that ZANU-PF was invited by ANC for assisting them a rally to drum up support? Yes, that's one of the issues that we are going to be discussing right away in the coming show, right? So stay tuned. We are going to be talking about that. And Ajnai says, greetings family, apana chinobudirira zvakaitika kuzimu, Mwari ane maziso kudarika awo shanduko mu Africa, madhara kumba. Yeah, madhara kumusha. We are tired. They must just go. ANC will not get more than 50%. That one is not going to be possible. For them to get that 50% threshold, it's going to be a mountain to climb. So let us continue praying and watching. God is on the move. Freedom is coming. Once we see the friends of ZANU-PF also biting the dust, it is a sign that God is on the move, and ZANU-PF continues to remain marginalized, isolated, and with less and less breathing space. And that is going to contribute also to the coming of the great new Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is coming, freedom is coming, and our people are going to be free very, very soon. So family, stay tuned. We are going to be meeting 2 more shows on the main channel soon after, just a few minutes from now. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. Remember, God loves you. God loves Zimbabwe. May God continue to bless and increase you wherever you are in your families.